So Kroger recently closed down a number of big grocery stores in Seattle, including one in Lake City, kind of North Seattle. And they cited, well, due to shoplifting, safety issues, and a regulatory environment that doesn't work with our business plan, we're leaving. And they've created these big food deserts. So what is the city of Seattle's solution to this? Well, Seattle tackles neighborhood food deserts with grocery store legislation. This is, okay, let's get into it. Here we go. Watch a quick video. What I would say if I was Mayor Bruce Harrell of Seattle, and I think we're going to really miss Bruce Harrell when Katie Wilson gets elected. And if I was Sarah Nelson, Seattle City Council president, I'd probably do the same thing here, because it's kind of like the people at the No Kings protest, raising signs. We're helping, we're doing something. City Council Bruce Harrell, they can't really address the out of control crime. They can't really address the shoplifting. They can't really address the layers and layers and layers of nonsense that make it difficult for businesses to make a profit. So what can they do? Well, let's look at this anti-competitive grocery store legislation. Here we go. Let's watch the video.
This now shuttered Fred Meyer is boarded up, but the Seattle City Council wants to make sure it's replaced with another grocery store so neighbors have access to healthy and affordable food in Lake City.
Okay. Never mind. I'm gonna keep playing. This is mind blowing to me as a real estate guy. This is mind blowing.
Is desperately trying to come back and hopefully not find ourselves being a ghost town.
This new legislation.
Okay. Why is Lake City, Deborah Juarez? Why is Lake City finding itself a ghost town? Why? What are the underlying causes? It's a shit show. It's an absolute fucking shit show. It just is. I'll get into that later, but you got nut jobs running around. You got homeless running around. You got whacked out drug addicts. You got people stealing left, right, and center. It's a shit show. Period.
Unanimously approved by City Council means the owner of a closed grocery store like the Fred Meyer could not block a competing chain from opening in the same location. That has been an allowed.
So you want big corporate who identifies based on the past history of Kroger shutting down a grocery store, saying shoplifting's the reason. You want another big corporate entity who has the money to invest in your Lake City community to come in and invest tens of millions and millions and millions of dollars into your community with no non-compete from neighboring areas? No, that's not how that game works. You got to be out of your mind. I mean, this whole thing is just so convoluted. The real reason these stores are closing is because you've got an environment that you've created. Now you need to unwind that. And instead, you're going to point to this legislation. Oh, we're trying. We're helping. No kings. Yeah. How's that working out?
Practice in Seattle in the past.
There is a food desert on that side of town.
Yep.
As we lose grocery stores, we ensure that there isn't an opportunity to leave out other grocery stores that might want to come in, including small bodegas, which are also grocery stores.
Why would they want to come in if the big ones are just being absolutely picked apart and there's no non-compete? Anybody can open up a grocery store. Why would you do that? Why? This makes no sense. This literally makes no sense. It's like, okay, all right, let's see how that goes. Get out the popcorn. It's going to be great.
Smaller that can go into those spaces.
One woman who lives a block away and still charges her electric vehicle in this Lake City parking lot says she now has to drive 15 minutes to get groceries and medication in Shoreline.
We just came from a doctor's appointment and they asked where was my preferred pharmacy. And I was like, oh yeah, they just closed. So now I have to choose a different one that's going to be further away.
Mayor Bruce Harrell explained.
Ask yourself as a resident, why are they closing down? Why did Fred Meyer close down? Did you read any of the news stories? When you were in that store, did it seem like a lot of shoplifting was going on? Did it seem like there was a lot of nut jobs walking around the parking lot, whacked out of their mind on drugs? Yeah, maybe. Do you think there's a causal effect in there somewhere? I don't know. I'm just asking for a friend, right?
When a company closes a grocery store or pharmacy, they can add a restrictive covenant into a property's deed or lease that blocks a new grocery or pharmacy from moving in as a way to bar competitors. This legislation makes those covenants illegal in Seattle.
I hope someone buys it and puts another one here so that it's not so much work for me to come and grab what I need.
Because it's all about you, sweetheart. There's a little thing in business and capitalism called profit. And if a big investor is looking at this building right here, and you're saying, yeah, anybody can just open it up, grocery store, hey, but, spend your millions here getting a new store up and running because it's such a great opportunity. Have you cleaned up any of the criminal activity? No. In fact, what's happened is Bruce Harrell has pushed the homeless out of downtown, right? Done a good job cleaning that up, but then they got to go somewhere because they are people. These are people. And until they die in the streets from their addictions, they're still people. They got to go somewhere. Lake City is one of those areas they've gone. Ballard is one of those areas they've gone. North Beacon Hill is one of those areas they've gone, right? I mean, we know where they've gone. This is one of those areas. Yeah. Just empty. Game over. The thing that drives me crazy is that there's just no real mention of why Kroger left and what they're doing to make Seattle better as far as that goes. Because the issue is so all-encompassing. It's so endemic to Seattle. It's so endemic to Portland, to Los Angeles, to San Francisco. Without getting at some real root cause issues, you just got to do this patchwork of stuff that you can point to when you are a politician and go, see, I did that. No kings, right? And you're left with, did that really do an, oh, yeah. There's no kings, right? We've just got elected officials. But put that grocery store policy out there and we'll see how that goes. Right, we'll see how that goes. Oh, so Kroger left. This should be an opportunity for us to move on in. They're a competitor of ours. And hey, Seattle's reducing all competition. So, oh, yeah. Anyway, no thanks. Nope, we'll pass. We'll pass on that location. We'll pass on Seattle in general. On top of, you're going to have to tax the F out of big business to keep Seattle going. You're going to have to do that. It's called progressive taxation. Make big corporate pay way more than their fair share of taxes. That'll be great. Yeah. And then you wonder why you've got a food desert when the stores get pickpocketed blind. Yeah. City Council approved new legislation allowing shuttered grocery stores in Seattle to be replaced with another grocery chain blocking efforts to prevent competition and to improve food access. Grocery store business runs on super thin margins, and you can't have 14 grocery stores in close proximity because you only have so many people in the population who are going to shop there. So the anti-competition clauses are there for a reason, so that they can ensure that their business is going to be able to stay in business. Stay in business. And what happened with Kroger? Let's see. Yeah. They went out of business. But hey, no kings, right? This ordinance unanimously approved by the council on Tuesday because, again, no kings. Got to do something. You got to do something to be able to tell the people, oh, we did that. Well, did that bring in any new grocery stores? No, but we tried real hard. Comes in response to the October closure of a Fred Meyer in North Seattle and a Whole Foods market on Capitol Hill. I mean, when Whole Foods goes out, and I've done podcasts on both of those, when Whole Foods goes out of business on Cap Hill. Sorry, what? Why? Oh, well, yeah. Same reasons, right? Same reasons. The goal is to make sure that people have access to at least one nearby grocery store and pharmacy. Hey, I don't want to see anybody in a food desert. I don't want to see the elderly, the underprivileged. I don't want to see anybody not be able to get their medication, get their food, get some fresh food. I don't want to see that. That's why I want to see Seattle and these other big libtard states go after the actual cause of why these stores are closing, which they have already stated. But that's not happening. So, no kings. Closure of Fred Meyer on Lake City Way has had a tremendous impact on our community, as well as the closing of Bartell's, Fred Meyer, a Walgreens, a Starbucks, and numerous small businesses. Huh. Why is that? Why are they all closing down? Why is it that you've got a ghost town in Lake City? Because you got a homeless population that's whacked out of their mind on drugs, and they need to steal shit from stores and sell it at these open air drug markets to keep their addictions going. Not that hard to figure out. Let's go after that. Oh, we can't do that. Good Lord. You're talking about real change there. Let's not do that. Lake City is desperately trying to come back and hopefully not find ourselves being a ghost town. You know, hopefully, and $1 will get you a medium-sized Diet Coke at McDonald's. Right? Right? Just saying. Now, hope isn't what you need. You need some real change. That ain't going to happen. Get out the popcorn. Katie Wilson. Oh, it's going to be great. She's a socialist, right? Yeah. Kroger cited theft as a reason for closing the grocery store in Lake City and another one in Kent. One sentence. There is one sentence here. Let's just ignore that, though. Let's just, theft. Good Lord. Why is that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do we have a soft on crime policies here in Seattle? In Washington State? Do we? Yeah. Even when criminals get arrested for shoplifting, we got local, judicial system that just doesn't do a damn thing. And corporate knows it. Kroger knows it. And they're like, okay, yeah, we're out of here. So all this, hey, we hope it doesn't become a food desert. We hope this doesn't become a ghost town. That's already happened. That has already happened. There is a food desert on that side of town. As we lose grocery stores, we ensure there isn't an opportunity to leave other grocery stores that might want to come in. Okay, why would they might want to come in? What in your logic thinks they might want to come in? I mean, just roll the dice and see what happens? Hey! Now, there is probably some pretty good opportunity, but, how are you going to make that happen in a grocery store? Make that make sense. Make this make sense. I mean, to me, the whole thing is just so... You're not addressing the massive, massive elephant in the room. It means the owner of a closed grocery store like Fred Meyer could not block a competing chain from opening in the same location, which has been an allowed practice in Seattle in the past. It's an allowed practice in commercial real estate. And it's because if somebody's going to put an investment into an area, they want to make sure that they're going to be able to keep market conditions the same so they can actually make, a profit. But whatever. The whole thing is... They do this to block competitors, and these actions harm neighborhoods and contribute to grocery and pharmacy deserts. No, it's when big businesses leave, like Kroger, that create the desert. That's harmful. Ask yourself, why did that happen? Oh, we already know, because it's right up here. It's right here. One sentence. Kroger cited theft as a reason for closing the grocery store in Lake City and another one in Kent. Yeah. There's some other stores that they closed because it just didn't make sense for them. You got formatting. I know Starbucks has done this as well. So it's not all about, hey, we're getting, robbed blind. It's not all about, well, there was a homeless dude waving a sword around that didn't have any clothes on. It's not all about that. There's some business restructuring that goes on all the time. But tell you what, I'm going to go there. Here we go. Fred Meyer permanently closed. This is Lake City. A couple of weekends ago, maybe a month ago, Friday. I could actually figure out what the date was, but it's in Northgate, which is just right in this area right here. I got off I-5. I went west a handful of blocks in the Northgate area. I went to an AM/PM mini mart along Highway 99, which is one of the highest areas in North America for human trafficking and sex trafficking along Highway 99, because it's been a known go-to. Hey, bring your California girls. California pimps come. You got that whole thing going on. So I'm getting some adult refreshments because I'm going to go see some friends at a house nearby. And I go into this AM/PM and it is a shit show. It is an absolute, should I even be getting out of the car here? I'm like, where are we? There's just, some black dude just kind of ambling around, another black dude over here doing God knows what, whole bunch of people at the bus stop. You got a woman that is probably 35, looks like she's 55, no teeth. She's wearing this spandex outfit that's super tight. Clearly she's trading drugs for favors. You got a whole bunch of other people just meandering around, all kinds of signs on the store when you go in. It's a whole nother world. And that's just a couple of miles away from Fred Meyer. And Lake City is worse. It just is. So this isn't a shocker that this is going on. The shocker is that King County Council and Bruce Harrell, they're going to point to, we put the legislation in. And I would be absolutely shocked if another grocery store came in and took down this space. Why would they? They've already proven it won't work. What has changed since then? Has shoplifting gone way down? Have the whacked out addicts, have they just, gotten sober? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. The legislation declares a public health emergency due to the recent number of store closures. This ordinance is in effect for 1 year while the city council works on a long-term solution. All right. Okay. All right. I mean, in the whole thing. Here we go. Mayor Bruce Harrell proposes legislation, and Sarah Nelson is the one that I believe authored this bill. They're going to put it in place. There we go. Office of the clerk. There we got Sarah Nelson there. I mean, okay. All right. Let's see how that goes. But here's something I want you to see. Let's play this. We've already seen this. I've already podcasted this, but let's take a look. This is in a neighborhood that is dear to my heart. It's the East Lake neighborhood in Seattle. I am there. I will be there in a couple of hours after I finish podcasting. It's a great neighborhood. I love hanging out there. There's boating activities for days, but let's see what happened to this business owner here. And I've talked about this, but here we go.
They tried to get in here this morning with a crowbar.
They're not exactly the repeat customers that Christian Chandler is looking for.
They've cracked windows.
His Italian restaurant, Serafina, in East Lake, suffering its 25th break-in since the start of 2020, leading to...
Sorry, what? 25th break-in. 25th break-in. I'm going to say it a third time? No, probably not. You got it, right?
Thousands of dollars in stolen liquor, wine,
whatever they can get their hands on.
He says for almost 30 years, the restaurant saw just 2 attempted break-ins. But since the pandemic, it's become an expectation.
It's well over 6 figures in repairs and upgraded security that I've had to install just to keep the property safe and to keep the staff safe.
Security that helped deter...
But hey, let's bring in a grocery store. Let's throw in a grocery store because we're going to ignore all this safety data. We're just going to put a grocery store. Now, this area of Seattle isn't in a food desert that I know of, but yeah, whatever.
This would-be thief with bright lights turning on just moments after they busted inside.
This morning, they ran to exactly where we keep our server tip outs.
He says that calls and emails to Seattle City Council, Seattle Police, and the mayor's office after past break-ins have either gone unanswered or without follow-ups to take action.
I don't know who else I can reach out to for help and assistance with this ongoing problem.
As he's done his part to invest in security, Chandler is asking for at least more peace of mind from law enforcement.
More police on the streets, more police in this neighborhood, certainly, because, I mean,
We don't have them. Even though we've recruited, 150 this year, you are upside down hundreds of police officers in the city of Seattle because we did that absolutely genius concept of defund the police, and nobody really wants to be a cop in Seattle. So, yeah, there's that. But, let's not focus on that. Let's focus on grocery store legislation. How about this one? This was horrible. My son sent this to me. This is same neighborhood, Eastlake, Seattle. Homeless man fatally struck by yard waste truck in Seattle's Eastlake neighborhood. Ugh. These streets in Seattle are tight. I've been over in Seattle when the yard waste guy comes and the garbage guy comes with their big truck. These are super tight areas. They have a hard time getting in. And this guy was going to, get to the dumpster. It's dark. It's, it doesn't get light here till like 7:30 in the morning. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. It probably happened at like 5:30. Guy ran over a homeless dude who was probably all in black on the street and just killed him. Killed him. But hey, don't put our homeless addicts involuntarily into treatment. Don't put our homeless addicts into mental health care facilities. Just let them die out on the streets. Let them get run over by a yard waste truck. This happened yesterday. A yard waste truck. That's somebody's kid. It could be somebody's dad. Somebody, we don't know, it could be anybody, you know what I mean? But let's go ahead and we'll just, we'll give them all the support that they need and let them make their decision when they want to get into treatment, and it should be all good. Should be all good. Yeah, it all works together, right? It all works together. And you know where we aren't seeing these types of stories? Typically in Republican-run cities or even moderate Democrat-run cities, because I'm sitting in one. I'm in Bellevue. We don't have any of this nonsense. Well, we got a little scooch because King County is starting to shove down big homeless facilities down our throat because they got to put them somewhere. And Seattle's loaded up with them. So, hey, Bellevue, you take a couple. Kirkland, you're going to like this now. Bend over just a little bit. It's going to hurt a little bit at the beginning, but we'll get over it. And, it'll be fine. It'll work out fine. You'll like it after a while. That's what King County is doing to small cities, especially, ones that are like, nah, we don't really want a 200-room homeless development going into our community where there is no barrier to entry, meaning all these folks can come in and do their drugs and they get free housing. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal, the mindset that goes into that. But that is the mindset that has created situations where you've got food deserts because big corporate leaves. Big corporate says, go F yourself. We don't need to be here because we're not making a profit and we have too much exposure, too much liability. And then the constituents are like, this is hard for me. I got to drive 15 miles away or 15 minutes away. But yeah, they'll put another one in without really thinking through what's going on because people are so busy just living their lives, right? They don't really question, why did Kroger close that down? Oh, theft. Maybe we should address that. Nah. Don't want to do that. That's something those Republican cities do. We're not doing that. No way. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. Trust me, this story to be continued. I'll see you then. Thanks again for joining. Bye for now.